This short video walks you through the records retention features of LG Inform Plus, including the tool to manage your council's record of processing activity, or RoPA. From LG Inform Plus, you can use the records retention menu option or click on the icon on the home page to access records retention features. Beyond the introduction page, there are two main features: retention, which provides suggested records retention schedule, and RoPA, where you can view and maintain your organization's record of processing activity. So going first to the retention option, you'll see that we're asked to sign in if you're not already signed in. Note that your organization needs to be subscribed to LG Inform Plus to use this feature, and you can see if you're subscribed by looking at the drop down under your name at the top right of the screen. The retention page shows a long list of types of record that we expect councils to hold for legal and business reasons. You can filter the list down to rows relevant to just your type of organisation, e.g. county council, fire authority or unitary council, and you'll see that the page refreshes with a shorter list of record types. You can also filter by business function, for example just housing. Clicking on an individual record type takes you to a page with detailed information for that type. This information includes a link to the legislation where relevant, giving full details of the retention needed. If I go back now to the main retention page, you'll see that there are three buttons for downloads. The first, Download as CSV, lets you take the retention schedule offline to view as a spreadsheet in comma-separated values format. The second, Download as RTF, gives you a rich text format document of the retention schedule. You can edit this in Word and, subject to review of by your council's legal team, you can publish this as your own retention schedule. The third button, Download RoPA Template, lets you download a template RoPA with one row per record type and all the columns needed for a full RoPA. Some of these columns need to be populated by you locally. So let's download that and view it in Excel. In Excel, you'll see that the RoPA template CSV starts with a set of columns that apply to your whole organization. These include the data controller and the data protection officer. You need to fill in the information for these only once in the first row, and that will then apply to every record in your RoPA. The next column, the RoPA ID, has a unique reference number for each of your RoPA records. Because this is a template, all of these identifiers are blank, but if you download a populated RoPA, you'll see numbers in this column. The next set of columns relate to the record type applicable to a RoPA record. Now, most of these columns have got the word download only in the header, because you can only download the information and you can't change it. But some of the pre-populated information can be changed, specifically the business function, which you can change to any local names you use for business function, And the retention details. So here we have a retention requirement of retain from close of case for 6 years, and if you have a different retention policy locally, you can change that in the RoPA template. The next set of columns have information that you need to populate locally for each RoPA record. This includes information like safeguards you apply to the record and security measures you take, and who is responsible for processing. The final column, delete, is just used for populated RoPA records when you want to actually delete them in an upload by entering yes in that column. I have here a spreadsheet with just 2 rows from the template RoPA, both relating to the function of housing finance. The first row, I've entered contact details for the council, its data controller and data protection officer. I'm leaving unchanged the record type information, and over here I've added details of the data processor for each type of record. Now, so long as you fill in any cells relating to a RoPA record in a template and upload it, relevant records will be added to your RoPA. So let's now upload that. If you want the same record type to constitute more than one RoPA record, simply duplicate a row within the template. Let's now look at the RoPA tool within Records Retention by clicking on the RoPA option of the left menu. You'll see this starts by saying that your organization currently has no RoPA records. You can add records manually using the Add RoPA record, or you can upload a populated RoPA template. So if I pick the upload function, I'll choose that file we've just been looking at, which has got 2 housing rent record types. Open that and do an upload. That's now queuing to upload on the LG Inform Plus web server, and when it's completed, you'll get an email message telling you that the records are available for viewing. It's actually loaded them already, so by refreshing that page, you can see those 2 records are there. And for either one, I can click on the record type. And because there's only one RoPA record of that record type, it takes me straight to the detail page. This gives a title for the record type, and the details which are pre-populated are shown in this box, which is normally hidden, but you can expand and contract it as you need. Beneath that, you've got information that applies to the organization, the data controller and the data protection officer in these 2 boxes, and then further down you've got information specific to this RoPA record. So I filled in the processing officer, you could fill in the joint processor, and other information lower down in this page. The business function is pre-populated, but you could change it to correspond with a local name, and if you change it, you'll see this symbol appears telling you that it's different from the default, and you can just click that once to reset it to the default. Click it again if you want to go back to your own local change. Fill in what fields you need and use this eye symbol to hover over and get more information on the field as you need it. And then click on Save to save that record. You're then in a page which shows you all the RoPA records which pertain to a particular retention type. You can use Edit from here to go back and edit details, and Delete to delete information. Going back into Edit, you'll see that you can download a one-line CSV file of details for that row, and you have an option to generate a privacy notice. If I click that, you'll see that coming up on screen is a populated privacy notice with information taken from that RoPA record, such as contact details here. If a field is blank in your RoPA record, it will appear in the privacy notice as a row of dots. Now, coming down this page, you'll see that there are options to send this straight to printer or to copy it to the clipboard. You might want to do that if you're pasting it in an email message that you want to send to someone, or you want to copy it into a word processor for further editing. Or, and this is an advanced feature, you can edit the privacy notice template to create one of a different format for your own use. Now, this does involve some HTML editing, so if you're at all unsure about it, contact the support team and they'll do it for you. By saving edited copies, you can set up different privacy note templates for different business functions and different record types within your organization. So that's a basic summary of record retention and RoPA, which I hope you found useful. For help using records retention features, use the help link at the top of the screen or email support@esd.org.uk.